Hi, everyone. This is Ruth Theresa with One Inspiring Woman, and I am going to be talking tonight about dream interpretation. I know so many people that have had so many problems with like weird, crazy dreams. One of the things I think is kind of bizarrely weird is kind of like I know for myself, and I've heard this from other people, is like they have like partial dream, and then you wake up for a little bit, and then you have a partial dream. It's like you have like these little segments, almost like having like a series of dreams. And so that's what I've been hearing for a lot of people, and I wanted to do it tonight because Neptune gets out of retrograde and goes into post shadow. On the 3rd. So that is just kind of that energy is still out there and about. But even in post shadow, it's going to keep lessening up. It's not going to be as strong, but it's still going to be affecting us. So if you have been having like some crazy dreams or something else going on, like dream wise, definitely let me know. I would tell me all about your dream, or kind of tell me the ideas of it, and I can hopefully interpret some of it for you to kind of give you some deeper insight. But I have some of the ones I pulled up are kind of listed, some that I've been dealing with for a lot of clients for a long time. So I'm going to be talking about those unless you got a question. So I'm just going to keep going and going and going and going. And then I will be like bringing in my angel cards to give us like a little bit deeper insight, kind of like that angelic side of it. So kind of like what's coming up next. So the number one I have been having with a lot of people is dreams about jealousy. And sometimes it's the person who is the dreamer is jealous of someone else. And sometimes it's someone else that's jealous of the dreamer. And jealousy of another person really signifies feelings that that may be carried over from like your work life or your family life or wherever that person is from. And then the dream may reveal kind of like your subconscious feelings of jealousy towards that person. One of the things is it's kind of opens you up to kind of a vulnerability, because when you're jealous of someone, it's one of those like you have this fear of energy coming up. And sometimes like if you're the one who they're jealous of, sometimes it's your energy is like afraid of being vulnerable to them. Like there's something about their energy that you're kind of like, I need to keep protected from them. Or it could be a fear of intimacy, like we may be getting too close. This may not necessarily like in a bad way, but kind of like we may be getting too close in friends and may not be ready for that energy to come in and change or modify things. I would say really one of the things that's really important, it's one of those, it's basically two things. Either you're the person who's jealous or the other one is the one that's jealous. But really what it's about is kind of like what's mixed up in that is like self-worth or self-love. Like that's not coming through. But that's kind of one of those amazing kind of like, interesting. Because I've heard that with a lot of people having problems about kind of like having problems with jealousy come up, kind of problems with other energy coming up. So that's just kind of like, interesting. But I've heard this is the topic, like literally it's in order of the way I've been hearing it from a lot of clients. So let's see. Fidel put on here, let's see. In Hawaii with me. Okay, so the dream about Hawaii is it's one of those, you're probably one of those people, or either you grew up, it's either you or you grew up in a family where when something is really good for a period of time, then all of a sudden it turns bad. So like being in Hawaii is all about like this like paradise, this amazing energy of just like being calm, relaxed. The energy there is just like amazingly easy to get along with. But the volcano erupting is kind of that one of those like that bad things happen and you're almost and I kind of feel like it's more family wise. So you may have it because like someone in your family, like a parent, a grandparent, aunt, uncle, or something like someone back in the family was always like, everything is good right now, but just wait, it's going to go bad. So right now it's good, but later on it's going to go bad. And so that's just kind of like changing the whole world. For you, it's kind of like, stop expecting things to go bad, because then it does. So like when you're kind of expecting like, okay, everything is great right now, but oh my gosh, something bad's just about to happen, that can just like overwhelm your system. And that can be something that's just really like terrifying, of like not being in control. The next one you're talking about like is spiders. Like tell me what the spiders were doing or something like that, because like I need more about, or at least one of the dreams about like spiders. Okay, so let me see. Oh, okay. Okay. So Chai had a dream that my family drowned, and then so Chai, what I get on Instagram is that like your family drowning, and then after crying about their death and kind of like working through the grief of it, they like swam back to you. Um, some of that is kind of like fear of being left behind. And so there may be someone either in your family that is about to leave to go somewhere else. Like you may have like a friend or something like that that's going off somewhere, like they're going to go somewhere and live for a while, or they're moving away for something. So there's like this loss that you're about to go through. And it's one of those like, I don't want them to go. Or it could be someone who's about to pass, kind of that sort of energy. Like I don't want them to pass. So I think that's kind of the energy I get with kind of like the crying. Like the crying is kind of like the change, and kind of releasing what you're holding on to. But then for them to come back is kind of like, they'll always be in your life, but it's one of those, it won't be the same way, because like after you grieve something, like you've changed how you deal with it. You've kind of changed your energy and how you're dealing with that. So hopefully that helped you, Chai. If you have another one, let me know. And anybody who's on, just say hi. Let me know what your crazy dreams have been. I've been having some crazy ones myself. Uh, Fel is saying, you're actually accurate for the spiders. I was in my old house and heading into my parents' bedroom while looking back at the kitchen where there's a huge spider blocking the way. So that's just part 1 of 2. Okay, so I'm gonna wait for the rest of that one. Thank you, Chai. I mean, hang around. I think to me, it's one of those, like, so many people have been contacting me over dreams lately to do dream interpretation. So I was like, we'll talk about some of these. I'm gonna okay. So here's the rest of it. So I got to the master bedroom and I saw a spider in the rest of the web, and caught a glimpse of my mom in bed, and then I looked up the spider again. So this like a spider is talking about there's some movement in your world or in your life, and I kind of feel like it could be probably more business related, or there's some changes coming in business, but you're afraid of being trapped. That's what the spider web is all about, is the trapping of it. Like you're afraid you're going to get trapped. And what you're looking for, because you go to your parents' bedroom, because like all kids do that, like when we want comfort and with our family, like we have a bad dream in the middle of the night, we go to mom and dad's room. And so like going there is like you're looking for comfort for this. But I feel like there are some changes coming that you're not really, are some movement coming in your kind of your career wise, and you're looking for comfort, kind of like going to your spider, but it's like going to your parents' bedroom, but still seeing the spider. Again, it's one of those, like you're thinking it's not going to be enough to kind of clear this out, or get rid of everything that's coming at you. So it's one of those, it's not necessarily a bad dream. It's not necessarily a good, like kind of that sort of thing. So just know that that's part of what's coming in. Okay. So I've got Robin here. I've had many short dreams, very real when I wake up, but in the moment, I don't remember any of the dream. I feel like what you're talking about is, hey, Miss Gigi, what I get is like a fear of kind of like the fear of like opening up something like almost like your energy is almost like I'm afraid of opening Pandora's box, and that's why you're having like little short dreams. So there's something that you're afraid of opening up. That's why you're not remembering the dream. So it's not necessarily a horribly bad thing, but it's one of those. There may be some kind of like I'm afraid this is going to open up. I feel like there's been several people that have had kind of similar dreams of kind of like or like they normally kind of remember, and then all of a sudden they aren't. I think that comes in usually because they're afraid. And a lot of people have told me like they're in fear of like the economics, prices are going up. Like, am I going to be able to afford to do Christmas? Am I going to be able to afford to do this? Those sort of things. So a lot of people are kind of like worrying about money. And so that may be part of like the little short dreams of like, I may not have enough energy or enough money to do this. Okay. Okay, hold on. All right. Okay. So yeah, Chai's saying on her dream, it's like her family's relationship has changed and kind of like drifted or separated apart. I get that a lot with a lot of people. Like that's something that we dream about a lot in our family circles of like shifting and changing and not getting back to where we used to be or kind of clearing things up. So let's get, okay, Miss Gigi. Miss Gigi. Okay. Okay. I dreamed that I was in a room filled with a lot of friends. We were all dressed after 5 fancy clothes. And I was very content and happy. The room was decorated in vibrant colors. So, Gigi, this dream has a lot to tell you. I will tell you, it has a lot to tell you. Okay. So, being in a room like filled with friends, people that you trust, people that you're used to being around, kind of like people you're like, if they're your friends, you trust them. Y'all being all dressed up and being in fancy clothes is kind of like waiting for that next thing to come in. So you're kind of like waiting for that next little part of like this to come in, of like you're kind of ready for that, almost like the music to start, because you're not talking about y'all dancing or moving or eating or anything else. So that means like y'all are waiting for that next good thing to happen because y'all are all dressed up, being very happy, very content. I would say kind of one of the interesting parts is like the vibrant colors. The room being in very vibrant colors are all about kind of like external things making you happy. If they were muted tones or if they were like earth tones, that sort of thing, it would be things like you're waiting for nature to kind of answer your prayers. But this is like the room being vibrantly decorated is all about like the energy around you coming in to answer that energy coming in. So that's kind of one of those, interesting. I know. I do think it's interesting that you didn't talk about any jewelry, Gigi, because that is one of the things that like my next one that I hear a lot of people talking about. But y'all are talking about like being very dressed up and being very festively dressed. I've had a lot of people tell me that they're having dreams about like having like a really big diamond on, or really, like fancy, diamond encrusted necklace, or a whole bunch of stones or something like that. Or actually, one of my clients said that, normally like when you have a really fancy like party dress, like it's all like crystals that are beaded on there. But she said it wasn't crystals, it was actually like diamonds. And so that's kind of going into like our next one is kind of like talking about that significance of like the jewelry, the status, the self-worth. But for you, Gigi, I feel like you don't have a problem with self-worth. You kind of like, what you belong, what you do, how you bring things in. So I kind of feel like it's more like the dress being fancy for you and not talking about any jewelry. Now you could be saying like, oh yeah, I forgot to say that. But I will say, it's one of those, you already have that personal value in you. You're not looking for it for external places. That's kind of one of the important ones to kind of like, it's kind of like allowing that, like working through things or working on things, but kind of like the surrounding area is going to be giving you what you require in life. So it's coming in really quickly. Let's see. Okay. Phil is saying, let's see. Okay. When I was awake, I saw formation birds that were flying left to right. Okay. Left to right. Birds are always about like coming together, and then left to right would be there's some type of coming together between like your female side and your male side. Right to left. Okay, so that would be something on your male side coming into your female side. Your right side is your male side, and your female side is your left side. And so that's kind of that energy of that, of like there's some changes or there's some fluctuation in that energy coming in. So that is coming up next. You're very welcome, Miss Gigi. If you have any other ones, hang around, Miss Gigi. Okay, so let's see. Okay. Legacy is saying, Legacy is saying, this is Roz. I had a dream about a storm, watched a tornado form in the sky as it came down to the ground approximately half a mile in front of me, and it was massive. So one of the things I get is like a storm is always like something that you fear. Like when people see a storm or kind of coming, it's kind of like, how is this going to affect me, or how is this going to change things, and how is it going to come out? But like watching it come at it, like you may be waiting for a change to come into you and to kind of come and make some changes around you. Also that it's really big. These are some big changes that are coming in. But I also get kind of the imagery that angels and guides are showing me is like, a lot of times that like if you think about a tornado, it can like rip through a town and like, but leave like the breakfast table completely, like it'll like jump over like the craziest things. So it's like, you know, family's about to sit down for breakfast and the tornado comes and it destroys the rest of the house, but the table is still sitting there. So it's kind of like you're afraid of these big changes coming in, but it like being so massive and in your face. But then I also see here that you say that it didn't do any damage, and it appeared to that the ground absorbed it right in front of me. So let's see, ground right in front of you. As I watched, I saw a male figure face in the dream, and I didn't recognize it. The male figure kind of represents there's some male energy that will be coming in, and how it's going to change you or how it's going to kind of like move around you is kind of one of those kind of some changes coming in. And it doesn't necessarily have to be like really overwhelming. The last part of it, Legacy, is okay. After it's all over, I felt a sense of like being protected in the storm. The changes are coming that will make changes around you, but I also get like, you know what I'm saying, it's one of those like the changes are coming in around you and you have to be aware of it so that you feel protected. So you're kind of like, because you saw it off in the distance coming at you. That's kind of what that's talking about. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? Okay. So if y'all like, keep them coming. I got more. I'll keep them coming. Put it all together and I'll go through it. So one of the things is like going back to jewelry. One of the things that I get with jewelry is kind of like it depends on like what type of jewelry it is or where is the jewelry. And so that can be kind of like a kind of signifying things that are coming up. Most people that I've been talking to have not had any issues with like losing the jewelry or it being broken or something like that, because then you would kind of go into some different aspects. Most of it have just been like they've had jewelry around them or that they've had jewelry, like I said, on their clothing. I thought that one was a really interesting one. The other one, I've heard a couple of them, not maybe as many as the others, is people having issues or having dreams about a jewelry box. I literally had a client that had a dream that, you know, like the old jewelry boxes you had when you were a kid and you opened it up and the little ballerina danced around and it played the song. She was the little ballerina in there. And so kind of the jewelry box is all about like your self-value and like where you feel your potential is. And it's one of those, and keeping it hidden. Like she wasn't ready to kind of tell people things like how are going to change or modify or kind of making some different changes around that energy. But it's one of those kind of like, what's coming in next? The next one I have heard more than anything else, and I will tell you, I literally, I've heard this one almost as much as the first one, like the jealousy, judging people. And so and I was hearing this more often about a week or two ago. So I feel like the judging part, I actually literally changed all my videos for December that are launching. And a lot of them will have this aspect of like, learning how not to judge people, or what does it mean about you, or what do you need to fix or change around you. It's one of those feeling judged is kind of like feeling like helpless, or feeling like others are making decisions or telling you what to do. It can also indicate a lot of energy of being criticized, and a lot of people do not like to be. I'm the same way. It's one of those. A lot of people like not getting or feeling a lot of criticism from other people. Because like, when you go before a judge, it's one of those, that's kind of one of those energies. It's like someone else is judging you and they weren't there with you. Like they didn't see what happened. They didn't see what the energy was, but they're judging you that, or criticizing you for what you did or didn't do. I will also say this usually really denotes that something in your life or around you is making you feel like you are being judged in some way. That is one of those. So I think that's kind of one of the interesting energies is that is coming up fairly quickly, is like a lot of people are going to feel judged. A lot of people are going to feel bad. And I feel like this is like a global thing that's coming in, because I've heard this from like clients or friends globally around the world. So that is kind of one of those crazy questions of like, oh my gosh, this is crazy that everybody's having these same dreams. Fel, I am not doing angel card readings tonight. I will be doing that in a couple of weekends. If you, a couple of Thursday nights, if you got my newsletter, you'll know. I don't even know. I know it's coming up. That's all I can tell you is like, I know it's coming up. I just don't know when. You will have to kind of, and I will do that like on one Thursday night in December, kind of like my gift to everybody else. So that will, like, I know it'll be advertised beforehand, but I don't remember the date offhand, kind of thing. But going back to judgment. So this is the big one that I have felt like people are feeling judged by others. Like you're being put through test, like almost like, is this a test that I'm going through? Why are people testing me in this manner? And kind of the other aspect of that is kind of like, if you're being tested about something, it's kind of like, you're in acceptance of taking the test. Like you're looking for their acceptance for what you're doing or how you're moving forward in your life. And you're okay to get that test or that acceptable or unacceptable marking on your stuff of like, hey, this is where this is coming in at, or this is what I can change or modify in this. I think the next big one is, and I've had this couple of, I want to say like a couple of people is talking about kind of like beauty pageants, which I thought was really interesting. Beauty pageants may be that you are feeling like you're insecure in your appearances coming up, or kind of like as we kind of move through the holiday season, kind of like people get dressed up and that sort of thing. And so kind of like you may be like feeling insecure about your appearance in some way, shape, or form. But I also get that there is a lot of people that are like pulling away from like our society's idea of like, you have to be this size, or you have to be this energy, or something like that. So that's kind of like, wow, that is really kind of that energy part of it. So that's okay. We're going to do some angel cards just about the the dream. So I'm going to go back up to the top and let me see. So, Phil, your dream about kind of like being in Hawaii. So let me pull a couple of angel cards for that. So, security is what I get is like the serenity. Sorry. Hawaii is about serenity. And so that's kind of like the energy with Hawaii, that it's coming in and you feel really serene there, very peaceful there. I will tell you that the next one about the volcano is kind of like setting your intentions strong, of like not having that negative following the positive. A lot of people think that way. I've heard it for years in my family, but it's like, if something's good right now, then it's going to get bad again, or if something else is going to change. So that can be overwhelming. Okay. Let me go back up. Okay. Your dream fell about the spiders. Okay. Okay. Dream about the spiders is all about like listening to your instincts, but it's almost like a listening of almost like listening, feeling kind of energy, kind of like listening and feeling the energy in there. So I think that's really important. And this part of that spider web could be like a soulmate attachment that you have. But I do feel like that's in a work-related issue or problem. Okay. Let's see. Next is Miss JJ. So, okay. So let me see what. Okay. There we go. Okay. So Miss Gigi, what your angels want you to know about your dream is that like it's time to take a little bit of a retreat, a little bit of downtime. It doesn't mean a lot. And that could also mean retreat could also be kind of like taking a little bit of time for yourself and getting your intention set for what's about to change. Because like take a rest before it gets really crazy busy kind of thing, like before everything changes. So that's about to come in. And then also kind of trust, because you trusted your friends, you were around them all dressed up, trusting the energy that's around them. That is like a big, powerful one for you. And you have a lot of friends, Miss Gigi. I know you do. Okay. Let's see. Okay. So let's see. Fell's dream about the birds. What I get is, so kind of because they came from your right to your left, I also feel like a lot of that may be a new love or a new love interest coming in, something new or changing in that area. Let's see. Okay, okay. Robin's dream about like the short dreams and kind of waking up and not remembering a lot of the dream. So, okay. This is the card for you, Miss Robin. I'm getting, trying to do a meditation or kind of like go back to your dream and ask your angels and guides in a meditation to bring you back to that dream, or kind of what is the message in the dream? Because everybody dreams, even if we don't think we do. We always are dreaming. And it's our mind's way of kind of working through things. The next one is that there may be a change in abundance as well. And I do feel like there's an abundance of dreams that you haven't been getting. So it's kind of like you have that voicemail message on your phone, but you haven't been checking the messages. So that's kind of like interesting. Okay. And I did Miss Gigi. Okay. And then Legacy, Roz, the storm. Okay. This one is the storm. And this is all being about enchantments, but also kind of like seeing things like magical and seeing things change in front of you or form in front of you. Is all about like the tornado and the change and how magical that can be, like just that it showed up and it's right there in front of you. The next one is for you, Miss Roz, is about self-acceptance. And it's not that you don't have it. It's just like it's a reminder more than anything else. I feel like it's a reminder. There is like you have the self-acceptance, and sometimes you may forget about it, or you're not as kind of like consciously aware of it. So that's kind of like, okay, just know that those are some changes coming in. Did I have another one? Okay, I had one on Instagram for Chai. And let's see, grieving and coming back, kind of. Okay, so Chai with her family. What I get is it's a message from your guardian angels to kind of make some changes or kind of do some things differently than you have been. But it's not that the energy is bad or horrible in any way. Just know that there are some changes coming in there and you're going to have to take care of them, because I feel like you're getting ready to go through a manifestation phase. So very much a manifestation phase is kind of coming at you. I feel like it's coming in for a lot of people. And I kind of feel like that way with Gigi, that she's about to go through a manifestation phase. Something she's been asking for is about to come forward. And not that that's a bad way in any way, shape, or form, but just know that that's kind of that energy that getting you ready for those changes that are coming up. Definitely. I thank y'all so much for joining me tonight. If you are on my newsletter, I will tell you that everything is, I've been trying to plan my Thursday night lives in advance. So it's on my newsletter. All of that is coming up on there. I love that that's coming out. I also, in the newsletter today, I announced my date and my location for my New Year, New You 2023 group reading. I'm so excited about that. I will have one online, and then I will have one in Sugar Land itself, close to, not too far from my house. So that's kind of a fun one for people. One of the things I think is really important is there is a lot of changes coming in. You're very welcome, Miss Roz. There is some changes coming in for a lot of people. And I do feel like we're about to get into a manifestation. Manifestation doesn't always mean money. It just means that things are changing or modifying at this point. Okay, I'm going to play the promo thing one more time, and make sure you get your tickets. I will love to see you at my New Year, New You group reading.